Good evening. Loddon Valley Leisure Centre, KitKing Trophy, pool games number 3.
Indeed.
Reading Rockets welcome the visiting Barking Abbey. Do they have a nickname?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Good start. Let's see if they've got a nickname. I'm joined by my good friend, Ben Fish.
Good afternoon. How are we, Mark? All good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. Is it afternoon, early evening, late afternoon? Tough to tell, but I like a 4 o'clock tip.
Yeah, 4 o'clock Sunday, definitely a winner, especially here at the Valley. So looking forward to this one.
Yeah, filling up really nicely here. Something like 250 pre-sale tickets, which is a great number for a Sunday game. And as I say, it's the KitKing Trophy. It's the third pool game in Group 1. And as we kind of go through the rundown of the group so far, Fish, you were at the Worthing. Is it Worthing? They're not Brighton Bears anymore, are they?
No, they are the Brighton Bears.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Good. So you were there at the Brighton Bears. Bit of one-sided affair yesterday. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously the Brighton Bears had filled in this particular pool in place of Solent Kestrels, who withdrew from Division 1 just before the season started. So it was really good of them, obviously, to fill in, and I think it was a really tough game for them. The Rockets kind of were from time on the floor, and I know Isaac Round scored 17 and Harry Milback had 14 yesterday. So yeah, that was nice for a couple of the younger guys to get some minutes under their belts.
Yeah, and that kind of brings in Group 1, that's Reading to 2-0, Worthing to 1-1, Barking to 1-1, and Brighton to 0-2. And of course, other games, the Worthing and Brighton games played today also, correct?
I believe so, yes.
So we will see the outcome of this group, and there's no second games, are there? It's just one and done. So then in Group 2, Hemel lead that one 2-0, Essex 1-1, Thames Valley Cavaliers 1-1, and London Elite 0-2. I believe the winner of this group plays second in that group in the next round.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Will depend on their victories and what happens there. In Group 3, Birmingham lead that one 3-0. They will go through top. Milton Keynes Breakers 1-1, Loughborough 1-1, and Nottingham 0-3. So that will be between presumably Milton Keynes and Loughborough. They're the final two to play, which they will be, to decide who gets second in that group. And in Group 4, Derby leads 2-0, Bradford also 2-0, Newcastle 1-2, and Manchester 0-3. So that is, again, between Derby and Bradford to play out the winner and second place in that group. And this is why this is a good early season tournament, isn't it? Because it just keeps things nice and competitive, quite fresh early season. Yes,
absolutely, and I think teams are still finalising their rosters. I think they use it kind of as a pre-season tournament, but obviously if you get that first win under your belt, you'll be looking to advance to the knockout stages, and it's a great competition to be a part of and pick up that first piece of silverware of the season. Yeah, and I think this is probably, we're just under 8 minutes, so intros will start in a minute, excuse me. So it's probably a good time to have a little look at the rosters. We'll start with Barking Abbey or London Lions 2. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying the wrong thing. Barking Abbey. Barking Abbey, yes? Yeah. Okay. Definitely. Thanks. So they've got Melkai Egbeyemi, Harry Godwin, Samakano, who's an ex-Solent Kestrel, Chris Ndouzi, Wan Manning, ex-Thames Valley Cavalier, who we'll probably revisit in just a minute, Ethan Conway, Messiah King Danchi, Amali Wilkinson, Harry Gent, Chris Oyo, and we think Reece Sundermount and Lewis Abora are not playing, but we'll confirm that when we can actually see everybody's number and roster, but they are not on the box score at the minute. So yeah, looking at that lineup, Fish, I mean, we know obviously a few of the guys, and anybody who's kind of unfamiliar with the Barking Abbey programme, that is an under-19 academy programme with a couple of extras, but they generally are under-19s competing in NBL Division 1, which is no mean feat on its own, right? Absolutely, and over the years, they've only had one sort of blip in their season, but yeah, James Veer continues to do a fantastic job with this group, and it's such great experience for these young guys to play in England's top league. And I think that with a sprinkling of experience, obviously Wan Manning's come into the fold from the Thames Valley Cavaliers. I think that's gonna really help them. But yeah, I'm really impressed with what they do, how they run their program, and the fact that they are competitive in Division 1. Yeah, and let's just revisit Wan Manning, because he's a very, very tricky guard, isn't he? Long, quick,
can do everything, and expect him to be, quite a focal point this evening.
Yeah, and he's given the Rockets some problems over the years, playing in as I say, for Thames Valley Cavaliers. So he'll definitely be one that's high on the scout. And really, they kind of chip in from many other places. Harry Godwin, who I believe is from the Richmond Knights junior setup. You mentioned Sam Akano, who's from the Solent Kestrels. Messiah King-Danchi, he's also been a prominent part. Played for GB this year as well, and has been representing GB at the 3-on-3 tournament too. So, yeah, they've got some real talent. So it'll be an interesting one. And having only lost to Worthing by 6 points early season, I think that's a kind of promising for them.
Yeah. So, and I think you'll see they're of a very good level in this league. And as I think probably last year, Coach James Veer slightly nervous about the relegation potential, but it's not usually like that. They usually kind of fringy playoff positions and do a good job. As we'll see the Reading Rockets come onto the floor, introduced by Bailey Boom Tustin. We'll have a little look at their lineup. Harry Milbank, Reece Pinnock injured today, ankle injury I think that's going to take a little bit longer to heal than expected. Taylor Rowe is home this week on family matters, but will be back in the fold. Lewis champion Mitch Clark, Isaac Round, Elijah Maynard, who also played well yesterday in the Brighton Bears game, Lorenzo Elliott, Finn Porter, Zach Powell, who's been a 2-time MVP for us on comms so far, and again playing well, and big man Christian Alexander. Anybody you want to highlight in that lineup, Fish? Yeah,
I mean, you're absolutely right. Zach Powell continues to start the season really, really well, and has been prominent in all games. Was quiet yesterday, but managed to get some points under his belt. So yeah, he's been excellent in terms of his improvement. Mitch Clark has come into the fold, and I think he's a tremendous basketball player, high level IQ, and a really good shooter as well. So I think that he's definitely one that's going to come to the fold throughout the season. And I think I'd like to highlight Isaac Round yesterday. 17-point outing. Is getting some valuable minutes under his belt, and got to remember he's also still an under-19 and contributing to this team. So yeah, there's some real promising players for this team, and I think that the scoring load can be shared. Obviously, we've got former Barking Abbey player Elijah Maynard, who's had some real positive games. Lewis Champion is continuing to lead the team really well. So yeah, all over the floor, and then obviously the inside game with Christian Alexander and Finn Porter. So yeah, the Rockets, they're looking good, and I think it'll be an interesting test this afternoon.
Well, what a great summary, and we're nearly here now, just coming up to the 3-minute mark, and we'll be underway in this final KitKing Trophy pool game. Looks really good in the crowd. Few empty seats, but I can still see people coming in. There's still time to get down here if you're in the local area. Head down to Loddon Valley.
Absolutely. Head on down. Great atmosphere. And this is really what Sunday afternoon has become about in Reading. And it's great to see basketball playing such a prominent part in the town.
And if you're not, then come and join us on the live stream. 44 of us in at the minute. So far on the introductions, no microphone issues. Last time a chest bump led to a damaged microphone, and can't have that, can we, Fish? Can't have that.
Absolutely. And Bailey the Boom Tustin with his birthday tomorrow, so we wish him a very happy birthday, and he's getting the crowd going as the General Zach Powell is introduced to the audience.
Here he is. I think I'm actually loving the General as a nickname. That's a good one. Is it a pre-Reading Rockets nickname, or is it a Reading Rockets nickname?
I don't actually know, but
one we'll have to ask him if
he's on.
Yeah,
but he certainly loves it. Yes, Bailey's managed to get the entire crowd to salute him.
That's amazing. Can't like that enough. So here we go, 3-minute mark, final bits of the warm-up being done. What do you think some of the keys to the game are? I mean, I think, my own opinion, very humble one, is that obviously the journey for Barking Abbey is a long one, right? Academy programme in general, lots of court time. So early season is not always their best. James generally has them playing really well after Christmas, and it takes a bit of time to bed in. So how do you think they will come out today?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think their best basketball is is definitely ahead of them, and that's the whole essence of the program for sure. I think that I still think they'll cause the Rockets some issues. That I think they'll be a different test to Worthing Thunder. I just think that they'll be ultra competitive, and I think that it'll be interesting to see how the inside game features with a little bit of size for this Worthing team. But I'll be interested to see, Barking team, but I'll be interested to see how this Barking team copes with the Rockets' transition game.
What I really like, you won't have seen this on camera, is our camera team have walked past us, said something to us. We both acknowledged like we understood what happened, but we have absolutely no clue.
Yes, no idea. I think it's something to do with the scoreboard graphic, which hopefully you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, which is slightly off-centre, so I think that's what we're trying to fix.
It's always a risk not getting tech on everyone because of the movement on the floor and the players. It can always move a little bit and then all of a sudden it's out of shot. Anyway, let's get back to more interesting things at basketball. And on the basketball side of things, as you say, Reading sort of playing well so far early season. More of the same, or do we think we see something slightly different today?
I think more of the same. I think that Coach Nurizade's not been able to change too much during this week. He's had a number of players out. Obviously, as you spoke about, Taylor Rose returned to the States for a week. Finn Porter also has been out with tonsillitis, so he's been off the floor. Christian Alexander also was ill during the week, so it's been a little bit of a disrupted week for the Rockets. So I imagine it's been about fine-tuning what they have already done, and they have had a promising start to the season. And don't forget, this is game 2 out of a double-header weekend. So with a squad of 9, it's going to be interesting to see if the Rockets can keep up that pace that we've been used to seeing so far this season.
Yeah, good comment on the load management. First kind of double-header of the weekend. Luckily, not too much of a long one. Brighton to hear again. Sometimes they can be a bit of a stinker, can't they? Derby away and then home the next afternoon is a bit of a killer. But yeah, let's see what we've got. A great crowd so far. Last kind of instructions going in. James Veer will try and rally his troops, get them competitive early. Coach Nurizade will try to exploit the parts that he wants to exploit, and we're poised for a good one. We'll have a little look at who starts for Barking Abbey. Looks like Harry Gent, Messiah King Danchi, potentially Chris Oyo. No, it's not. He's no warm-up on, but it's not Oyo.
Yeah, we've got Wan Manning and Amali Wilkinson are in for Barking, and Sam Akano also starting for the visitors.
Rockets are Maynard, Alexander, Zach Powell, Lewis Champion, and presumably Mitch Clark, but I can't see him.
Great to see the two coaches just coming together before the game. A lot of respect from Samit Nurizade and James Veer of each other and the programmes. And I'm sure this will be a very competitive game with both coaches really coaching their teams hard early in the season.
We'll also say from a capability point of view, Fish and I don't have live stats at the minute. We'll endeavour to find them. So Fish, you take it down in pencil form and we'll try and remember who did what.
Throw it back.
Early look inside for Alexander, but pass way off from Champion. It's Powell, hand off with Champion, early screen and roll with Clark and Alexander, easy drop off. That should be a quick 2, and it is.
Yeah,
nice start from the Rockets.
Yeah, good to see Christian Alexander get on the scoreboard early on in the game.
Powell is all over Danchi, and that's going to be a backcourt violation, and Zach Powell has started aggressively on the defensive end.
Certainly has, and that has been a prominent part of his game that he's worked to improve on over the summer. And hopefully in a couple of games' time I'll stop saying about his improvement over the summer.
Well, once it stops being relatively summerish, I guess we'll go. And here is the man, Zach Powell. Inside-out crossover. We'll just drop that one off to Clark, and under 3 on the shot clock. Champion will get down the lane and try and drop one off, and it's a second too late, but the Rockets working the shot clock inside, but good defensive sequence from Barking Abbey.
Yes, indeed, and a good response after that early turnover. And we'll just keep an eye on how they defend the pick and roll. They've been in drop coverage so far. It was an easy one to start with, but maybe they'll make an adjustment with that.
Clark and Danchi. Dropped off to Akano. Switching on the perimeter from the Rockets. Akano dials his own number and buries the three.
Yeah, tough shot by Sam Akano, but we mentioned before the game that he was definitely an offensive threat for Barking, and he just showed it right there.
Yeah, very good in transition and lightning quick as well is Akano, one to watch. Again, early screen and roll, drop coverage, but they'll fight over the top of that with Akano. Gent picks it up. 2-on-1, Manning, Akano, and a bit of a tip there from Maynard, gets it on the backboard. Harry Gent follows, he can't finish. Another tip, bobbles around. Ended up with Wilkinson, another three. This time, nothing doing, and Rockets slow down. They trail this one 3-2 early. Here's Clark. Screen and roll again. Dropped off again to Alexander. Good catch. Finished and won.
I think the basket's been waved off, and
excuse me,
out of bounds will be the call.
The first indication was basket good, and they have waved that one off. Maybe the wrong official. Here's Clark on the inbounds. A jumper that he knew was not going in. Gets his own rebound, but Danchi had it poked away by Champion. He shoots, nothing doing, and a little bit scrappy 60 seconds from the Rockets, and here's Akano for Barking Abbey. Danchi down the lane. It's erased by Christian Alexander, and that's the extra benefit you get of the big man.
Certainly is, and he's becoming a good rim protector for the Rockets, and something that they maybe missed a little bit last year.
Again, the guards for Reading switching the perimeter at the minute. Here's Manning, as I say, tricky customer to deal with. Akano, who is lightning quick and just doesn't get able to go battered around by Clark, and it will stay with Barking Abbey in a shot clock reset. No, it won't. Yes, it will. 14 on the shot clock. Here's Akano. They'll go underneath that one on the screen and roll. Stops, and Maynard defending well, but Manning gets him in the air. Corner three ball on the way, and it's Danchi for three. Barking Abbey shooting well from the perimeter early.
Yeah, nice ball movement there from Barking Abbey. Didn't rush it, and found the guy open in the corner with his defender helping.
And Clark just got ahead going left, and just with his shoulder in front managed to flip up the left-hander, and he'll go to the line for two. Any luck on live stats?
Negative at the moment.
Negative.
But I'm working on it.
These are good times in the break. The last three was actually a 2 in the corner, so Barking lead this one 5-4. Akano on the high screen from Gent. This one kicked to the corner to Wilkinson. He pulls up on the pull-up, nothing doing, and here's Zach Powell out and running. Slowed down by Akano. Defended well. Good battle going on here. Powell just spins all the way in, and one from Zach Powell, who forces it from the perimeter, then gets a 2.
Yeah, Coach Nurizade was keen for him to pass the ball there, but Zach Powell's got the bit between his teeth early on in this one, and gets himself to the line.
If you don't pass it, scoring and one is probably your best option. If your coach is screaming you to pass and you don't, probably your best option there. As Powell makes the extra one, 3-point play from the General. Rockets lead 7-5. Here's Juan Manning against Elijah Maynard. Blow by from Wilkinson all the way down, up and under, and really clever finish from Amali Wilkinson.
Yeah, Christian Alexander called for that one. tried really hard to play with verticality, but I think probably just jumped in to Wilkinson, who misses his first.
Plenty of noise here from the Valley. They've earned that one, earned their first miss of the night. And Marley Wilkinson sticks to task and makes his second. Extended pressure here from Barking Abbey, and they're going to trap early on Powell, and plenty of ball handlers on the floor, but it does slow the Rockets down. Extra possession, or longer possession, should I say. May keep the score a bit closer. Clark picks up his dribble. They want that back off Alexander, who goes to the handoff with Powell. Under 5 here. Zach's going to have to try and put this one up. He does, and rattles one home, and Zach Powell doing Zach Powell things.
I don't think Coach Veer is going to be too disappointed with that. I thought defensively the guys took a lot of time off the clock. They made the Rockets take a really tough shot there, and there's a foul called in the play coming back.
Time is still running. Stop now. Bit of conferring down here at the table, presumably time issues. Yeah, 6:10 on the clock. 9-6. Rockets lead this one. Here's Akano, high screen with Harry again. Lift to Manning against Powell, and defends him well. Little step back from Manning, doesn't get to go, and Alexander pulls the board, and that's what you need from the big man. Here's Maynard, haven't seen much of him so far. Champion swinging through Alexander to Powell. Dropped off to Clark in the corner, splits 2 people, just loses the handle as he wanted to drop it off to Alexander. Barking Abbey out and running. Here's Akano. Counts it. Champion tries to take the charge and not there in time, and Akano will go to the line for the extra one.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the last 3 possessions for Barking. I thought they ran their offense really well the previous possession. Gave the Rockets a lot of actions to have to defend. Then they got a tap away, and then they played really fast in transition and got themselves to the line. So yeah, it's been a promising start by Barking, and as we said before the game, they really are working hard and making the Rockets come out of their rhythm of playing fast.
Yeah, and this is, you know, obviously being an academy program, you don't always know what you get with Barking, but this looks like a pretty solid team so far. I mean, last year I think they had a few young guys and a couple of others that ended up playing BBL instead of NBL. Here's Alexander, who tries to force his way in and gets it to go, and 1 as I was chatting away. But this looks like a good group for Barking Abbey.
Yes, most definitely. I was just looking at that foul, and I think the players and Coach Veer puzzled almost as to why that was a foul. Alexander got good position and managed to convert, and it's been a positive start for him.
And gets the free throw to go. Rockets lead 12-9. Just over 5 to go in this first quarter. Akano on the pull-up, doesn't get that one to go. Clark with a tip away. It's Maynard back to Clark. Early screen roll action. Clark, who struggled from the perimeter early last game, but this one is cleared up by the big man again, who's active on the boards. Christian Alexander with the follow.
Yeah, both teams taking some early shots.
Akano kick this time to, that was Egbeyemi, Melkai Egbeyemi. Didn't get it to go, and here's Powell with Alexander. Skipped over to Clark. Little quick handoff with Mitch Clark, and some frustration from Samit Nurazade. Presumably Christian Alexander slightly out of position.
Yeah, and he's picked up his second foul with with Alexander doing some pretty good things on the offensive end and protecting the rim at the defensive end. That's a bit of a blow for the Rockets, but good minutes for the big man.
Isaac Round in and Finn Porter in for the Rockets, so some like-for-like changes. It's Alexander and Maynard who sit. Here's Akano, who I said is very tricky. Godwin on the pull-up, nothing doing. Early kick to Isaac Round, but he's got a foot out of bounds, and Rockets just slightly unsettled in transition again. Another early whistle, and I'm really hoping that we don't have another whistle fest like we had the last time we were on comms. Zach Powell, 2 early ones. That won't be good news to the Rockets faithful.
Yeah, and especially as he's been quite the player in these first couple of games, and obviously in these first 6 minutes for the Rockets. So yeah, 2 players sitting down for the home team on 2 fouls.
Danchi hits the first. And the second. Just under 4. Rockets lead 14-11 in this one. Clark all the way down lane, flips one up, nothing doing. Again, lots of contact on the dribble, but referee's not calling much so far. Here's King Danchi down the lane, and the kick to Akano is fumbled off of fingertips, and that will be a Rockets ball.
I think the frustration for Coach Nurizadeh is the last 3 possessions for the Rockets have been kind of one action try to score. I think he'll want to see his team move the defense, but credit to Barking because they are taking ticks off the clock by picking up full court. So let's see what happens in this possession.
Here's young Isaac Round into the game. And Clark and Porter will go with a bit of a screen and roll, and Clark down the lane. Again, a lot of contact, but nothing doing this time, but Clark finishes the layup anyway. Yeah,
I think better patience from the Rockets. Obviously, they had to go with the shot clock winding down, but good bucket from Mitch Clark.
Ball movement finds Danchi for the 3. He backrooms this one, and Champion just lures in Egbeyemi. No numbers for the Rockets as Clark's trailing. Here's Porter in that short corner and gets the soft roll for 2.
Yeah, Finn Porter loves that baby jumper, and he shoots it well. So good job to him.
If it works, if it ain't broke, as they say. Here's Akano, a lot of contact on the screen, and that one's on Chris Oyo, I think. 32.
Yes, and frustration really from Coach Veer. Both teams in the penalty. Obviously, there's a lot of fouls being called, and it becomes a game where you have to kind of manage subs as well as obviously coach the tactical element of it. So
I was just picking up Coach Veer on the side saying something along the lines of I can't coach it anymore or something like that, and I don't know whether that's in reference to a bit of a slip or whatever it is on the screen. I always say it's not always easy for the officials when they see the kind of screen and slip and a bit of movement. It's a bit of black and white in this country. You're either stood still or you're not. As Champion pulls up, but I don't know if that was what was frustrating Veer. Anyway, Barking Abbey out and running. Danchi behind 3, misses everything. Egbeyemi tries to save, but he's got a toe on the line.
Yeah, coming back to that point, I think obviously the pick and roll is tough to officiate, and it's being run more and more with different alignments. I think it's really important for, and I'm sure they are officials to be watching tape and understanding what both teams are doing and the tactics they're trying to employ. So, especially with the switch, you've got screeners slipping, etc. So, yeah, it's a tough one, but I think it could be better.
More movement, thanks Fish, you're right. And I always say it's, being that the basketball in our country is slightly behind, some of the other more prominent basketball nations, it's sometimes newer for officials to see it on regularly in the UK, if that makes sense.
Yeah, possibly so. Coach Veer's called timeout, and it's probably a good timeout for his team as they trail by 7. And I would say similar to the Rockets in that little clump of possessions that they had, Barking a shooting or trying to score really early, and he'll be wanting them just to slow down a little bit. He's just drawing some stuff up just to explain to them how the Rockets are defending certain actions and what they can do from that. So he's very demanding with it, but that's definitely some good coaching from Coach Veer.
And you would have seen as well the Rockets' last couple of possessions, there was more perimeter ball movement, a little bit less on the dribble. We got more ball reversals, and I think that will be useful for the Rockets too, who have been pretty ball screen heavy in the first 7 to 8 minutes. In the last kind of 60 seconds, they've been a little bit more perimeter-based ball movement to try and get Barking to move a little bit defensively.
Yes, indeed, and I think Coach Nurizadeh will be touching upon that. And during the timeout, I have good news. I bring you good news. We have statistics.
Wow.
Which is
Here
excellent.
we go.
And we can see that Christian Alexander is leading the Rockets with 7 points. And Sam Akano leads Barking with 6.
Cooking on gas, as they say.
Would you like the stats as well?
If you want to email them to both of me, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Champion makes the first after he was fouled on the last drive. And he makes the second. And he takes a seat. Number 12, Ethan Conway in the game for Barking Abbey, as well as number 9, Chris Ndouzi. Godwin and Egbiemi go handoff and flare screen with Gent. That is Godwin, and he buries the 3 from the right wing. Lovely after the timeout action from Coach Veer. Clark gets a long look at this one, but nothing doing. And I wonder if it's the white tape that he had to remove before the game that's affected his shooting.
I wondered when you'd mention the white tape.
Slightly inside joke, as Mitch Clark was asked to remove some white tape from the wrist pre-game.
So a couple of things just to pick up on. So Ethan Conway, again, another Richmond Knights junior product, and has done really, really well for Barking Abbey. Lorenzo Elliott, the 16-year-old's also in the game. He's the one that's just picked up the foul. A bit of a naive one when the guy had possession of the ball after the rebound. The Rockets in the penalty, that's hurt them a little bit as the arrears for Barking is reduced to 5.
Yeah, it's not the foul you want to give in team fouls 85 feet from the your own basket. Rockets deal with the pressure again, but it takes off 8 solid ticks for the Rockets offense. Here's Round with Porter, finds himself down the lane, and Rockets turn down 2 really good shots, and Clark just blows the lefty layup. And that's Egbiemi out and running, and he scores.
But a travel's called on the play.
Oh, excuse me.
Rockets, sorry, Mark, I was just going to say, Rockets with 3 academy players on the floor, with Isaac Round, Lorenzo Elliott and Harry Milbank.
And here is one of those. Milbank early 3, too early. That's what the pressure wants you to do. And again, naive was probably the right wording for that one too, Fish. Bit of an early one after you break the pressure. And Godwin down the lane, and Rockets just struggling to see out this first quarter. They lead 20-15, but a little bit disjointed in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, disjointed in a shortened rotation, obviously, with Reece Pinnock and Taylor Rowe both out in the backcourt, and Zach Powell sitting on the bench with 2 fouls. So it's been a little bit tricky for Coach Nurizadeh.
Godwin misses the free throw, and James Veer with a shake of the head. I wonder what their free throw stats are, because they've missed a couple. Just wonder if it's the frustration of missing free throws is
I think they're
granted.
yeah, I think they're 6 from 9, so not too bad a percentage.
Clark drops it off to Porter to Elliott again, and short rotation issues. Here's Egbeyemi the other way, and he flips one up and gets the soft touch and go.
Yeah, been a bit of a rough end to the quarter for the Rockets for sure.
Yeah, under 15 to go, about a 1 second difference between game, or just about 2 actually, between game clock and shot clock. Here's Clark, winds down the shot clock, finds Elliott on this left wing. That looks pretty long, and Clark tries to keep it alive. Picked up by Isaac Round, and Rockets have done everything but score at the end of the quarter. And yeah, tough closeout to the first quarter, and Rockets lead 20-18. Credit to Barking to fight their way back from sort of down 7 and now within 2.
Absolutely, and you can see that they have a little bit more balance on the floor than the Rockets do at the moment. They've stuck to their guns. It was a really good timeout from Coach Veer that certainly chipped away at that score, and as we head into the second quarter of a two-point game. But yeah, Rockets with a little bit of naivety there, I think, towards the end of that quarter, kind of rushing shots and not executing with Mitch Clark, and then Isaac Round on that rebound, some open layups. But Rockets still have the lead, still positive, scoring 20 points, but Coach Nurizadeh will definitely be talking things over about how his team need to take care on offense and defending different actions.
Just seen Bailey Tustin gifted a birthday cake and balloon.
Yeah, he's nearly 50. Can you believe it? He'll hate me for saying that, but
that's
there we go.
Amazing. I'm so glad you've just said that. He's nearly 50.
Yeah. Well, we're both in our 30s, so it's not so bad.
That's a fact. We're in our 30s. Yeah. Fact. Our cameraman just looked over at us thinking, he's not convinced. He's not convinced we're in our 30s, but it is a fact.
No, and great to have Lee with us this afternoon, taking on the responsibilities on the stream. And Lee's loving life. He got here early, and he even had time for a coffee before the game. So he's a very happy man today.
He's still got it. It's unheard of. Unheard of. Second quarter action, KitKing Trophy, Pool 1, Game 3. Reading Rockets top this group at 2-0, looking to seal the deal. Barking Abbey had this first possession with Godwin on the ball. Screen from Conway, dropped off to Gent, and Elijah Maynard says no, and that is a tough one for Maynard, who came from the weak side to meet that one at the rim. Yes, I think the officials have got that one right. He was kind of caught blindsided a bit. Interesting to note, Christian Alexander's come back into the game for the Rockets. Nice little action there for Barking Abbey. That was my roll the dice motion. Indeed. With Christian Alexander on 2 fouls. Gent misses the first. Buries the second, and more pressure here from Barking Abbey, who sensibly, I think, this is a Coach Thorne type of comment, that these longer possessions and slowing down the Rockets are going to help them keep this game close, because we know the Rockets can score in bunches. Champion fouled on the 3, and he will go to the line for 3 free throws. But yes, extending the possession seems to be good to keep things closer. Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing with having a sort of 10-11 deep bench. Coach Veer can certainly rotate players and get them to defend up the floor and hard for sort of 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes at a time, and it's certainly helping his team stay within very close proximity of their opponents. While Lewis champions the line, I'm going to open the live stats. It's a spectacle. pretty pleased with it.
Champion rolls the first one in. Good on the second as well. What do you reckon? 3 from 3, Mark?
I'm going to say yes, and then if he misses, we'll say commentator's curse. No, nothing but string on that one, so no curse today. Thanks everyone joining us on the live stream. 126 watchers now. Good numbers for us, Fish.
Excellent. Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Grand Prix's finished.
Grand Prix's finished. The football's finished, I think.
Definitely worth tuning into us. Bit of a shout for Elijah Maynard early. Yet to get going offensively, Elijah, but he's playing well so far. Manning with the drop-off, and there's a lot of contact this time at the rim. That was dropped off to Chris Ndoozi. He doesn't get it to go, and they try to throw the lob for Christian Alexander down the middle. That's tipped away, and here is Ndoozi with Godwin. And a little bit of a battle down low, but there was a mismatch there. It was Gent and Clark.
That's a real tough one for Mitch Clark, because he was doing everything he could just to get in front, and I think he was trying to do it legally.
Tip there from Isaac Round, and he should just go in easy for the 2, and good work from the JMA Academy product.
Yeah, nice play from Isaac Round, getting himself on the scoreboard for the first time this evening. Tough matchup for him.
Godwin over Alexander. That's a tough shot in the lane to shoot over big man Christian Alexander, but well done from Godwin. Round finds Maynard. He's going to post up, find Alexander in that high post area. Fumbled away from Isaac Round, and this is champion for the charge. He's going to not get that one. And Ndoozi just flips one inside to Ethan Conway, who gets that one to go.
Yeah, a bit of a messy one there from the Rockets. Poor turnover, and then had a chance to get the ball on defence, but didn't, and Barking punished the home team.
Alexander, good footwork, but pushed, and then it's Isaac Round, I believe, called on the push on the rebound.
Yeah, and a tough one for him. Turnover, missed opportunity at the defensive end, then another foul, so tricky couple of possessions. But what I really like about this Sparking team is that they certainly show younger players in terms of immediately they've scored, they're thinking defence straight away.
Yep.
And that's a great example for younger players in terms of mindset and thinking.
Manning over the top of the screen. Wilkinson. Manning tipped away by Zach Powell, who's back in the game. .3.8 on the shot clock here. Manning will need to hurry, goes down the lane, and Christian Alexander with his second monster block of the day. Indeed,
and that's what the Rockets were probably missing in that period of play where he was off the court with 2 fouls. 0.2 on the shot clock, and
that's a straightaway turnover.
Yep, out of bounds. Good news is the scoreboard camera wasn't moved, so we've got a happy Lee, and that's what we want.
So we'll just keep feeding Lee positive vibes. Here's champion and Powell, Alexander back in the game. Maynard on the left, and now they find Alexander in the low block. Wants to hand off with Zach Powell, and does. 6 on the shot clock, now dumped back down to Alexander, and again, lots of contact. But again, tough. I mean, defensively, good positioning from Barking Abbey, decent enough rotation. Alexander has to adjust the shot, and referees have judged it to be a foul.
Yeah, but I like the movement from the Rockets, and a nice little grenade action by Alexander there. And yeah, he's certainly, I think this is by far his best game in a Rockets uniform so far. He's contributing well at both ends of the floor, which is really good to see.
For the people who aren't quite as cool as you, Fish, grenade action.
Yes.
You might have to explain it for me and the viewers, because you know me, I like my Iverson elevator grenade backdoor triple doubles. They're my favourite.
He's missed both free throws, so no good.
Powell on the follow, he doesn't get it to go, and Rockets could be short on numbers here, and you don't want to foul there. Tough one. Anyway, back to grenade action.
Yes, so it's normally when the ball goes into the post and whoever is in the post dribble hands off to the perimeter guy rather than just being a perimeter dribble handoff. So that's what I believe it's called.
From the post to the perimeter.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it. Here's Manning against Champion. They'll go screen and roll again. Champion just fights over the top of it. Defended well, and Doozy in the corner, and he buries a three, and this Barking Abbey that not only won't go away, they're now leading this one.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're good for their lead as well. I think they've done a really good job so far.
Alexander tries to skip. The tip pass is handled by Clark. 3 on the shot clock. Turn around from Zach Powell, and he continues to do his thing.
Yeah, nice job from Zach Powell. It's a tough shot, but he's been shooting it well of late.
Wilkinson down the lane, and that is a lovely finish. Finger roll high off the backboard. And Barking Abbey lead this one by 1, 28-27, 6:07 to go in the quarter. And as you say, Fish, really good value for their lead.
Definitely. And I think that what this team does really well is they first of all play well downhill. They've had a couple of pick and roll actions which the Rockets they were short-showed there, and but that didn't help. Defense didn't come, so they're confident to get to the rim, and they've made some pretty good choices rather in terms of when the help has come, kicking it out to shooters. So that coupled with their full court pressure and trying to mix things up, they've done a good job.
And Coach Nurazade, again, it's sort of a different, as you say, a bit of a different beast, isn't it? It's these shorter rotations, along with, double header weekend. It's a bit of a tough combination, a bit of early foul trouble. Christian Alexander on 2, Zach Powell on 2. They're back in the game now and kind of on course, but yeah, definitely more about management, you'd think, at the minute.
Yeah, and this is where you can see Reece Pinnock and Taylor Rowe are kind of missed at this position. Obviously, Harry Milbank's come in. He's doing a great job. He's trying his hardest, but he's not got a lot of experience at this level. So he kind of needs, that type of player, that type of Reece Pinnock player to defend well and just be a bit more poised. And I think, obviously, with Barking knowing Elijah Maynard, he's not really been much of a presence in the game yet. He's scoreless in his 11 minutes. So yeah, all good for the visitors to Reading so far.
Here's Mitch Clark getting us back underway. Maybe see something after the timeout here with Champion Alexander. Bit of trying to back screen Alexander in. Here's Champion, rejects the screen, turns the corner, gets all the way down the lane, and it's very clever from the veteran Lewis Champion.
Yeah, really good. Read that really, really well. Sold opposite, rejected the screen, got himself all the way to the rack for 2.
Here's a Kanu. And it's a cross screen to Manning.
Or will they exploit the switch? No.
They don't. Akano from really deep, and Sam Akano hits another 3, and Barking Abbey continue to scorch the nets in this second quarter.
Yeah, Sam Akano's been a great pickup for this Barking Abbey team, and he is certainly not afraid to be a scoring threat.
Powell had the mid-range pull-up, turns it down. Could have gone one more to Maynard in the corner. And Rockets just turning down some okay shots at the minute to try and find the better ones. As I say, on that possession, Maynard wide open in the corner. 3.3 on the shot clock. Clark goes to the elbow pull-up. Flat, but back rims that one. Here's Manning on the push. Stolen away by Clark, and there's some numbers here for the Rockets. It's Powell up top. Alley-oop, Zach Powell!
Nice pass from Mitch Clark, and Powell does the rest.
That is me and you, isn't it? I like the dunk and you like the pass. And it's Nduzi who drops the shoulder on Powell, and he continues to do general things.
Very good indeed. Yes, good couple of possessions by Zach Powell, and brave of Coach Nurizadeh to put him back in the game on 2 fouls, but he's certainly rewarded his coach with his trust so far.
Rockets just fight their way back in, tied up at 31. Here's Round, and miscommunication between Clark and Porter. Barking Abbey out and running, while Manning on this right wing wants to look at 3. It's bobbled around and ends up being kicked out by Barking Abbey.
Yeah, Porter was coming back for the rescreen there, I think, and Mitch Clark didn't read that, and I think he's a little bit frustrated so far, but only 1 from 7 from the field.
Here's Porter. And Clark now on that right corner finds Maynard. 8 on the shot clock. Zach Powell trying to go to work. Will need to put something up here. Just tries to drop it off to Porter. And again, Rockets struggling a little bit on that offensive possession. Wilkinson had a pretty finger roll before, and this time it's a foul call from the official nearest to our commentary position.
Another really good piece of play by Barking, and I think they've done this really well. They've certainly worked hard at forcing the switch and then going at the inside guy. I think that's probably the 3rd or 4th time they've got to the line doing that.
See, I love your analysis, Fish. You see some things, you know, I see the microphones being dropped by the announcers, and you see the basketball.
Try to. Not always perfect, that's for sure.
Stockton and Malone.
Oh, gosh.
That's what we are.
I don't think I've ever been called that.
Which one?
Stockton or Malone. Maybe some other names. So interesting here that Finn Porter's now coming out after that foul, and Christian Alexander's back in. So Coach Nurizadeh going with 2 players on 2 fouls.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the foul situation just to make sure we're on. Yeah, 2 fouls Maynard, 2 Powell, 2 Alexander. Everybody else on 1, and Mitch Clark, who struggled a little bit in this one. Samacano is very tricky, dumps this one down with a great look behind his head, and Marley Wilkinson picks it up, tries to get one to the corner. Here's Powell, and he's under a lot of pressure here. Sensibly hands off to Clark as we hit the 3-minute mark in this one. Screen and roll. Clark just walks his way down and should get that one to go, and does. And good to see Mitch Clark get that one through the rim. Might get his confidence going a little bit. Yeah,
much needed bucket. And let's not forget, Mitch Clark has not played an awful amount in the last 2 years, so it'll take him a little bit of time, but he's certainly got some really good potential. There's no doubt about that.
Rockets the other way. Skip to Maynard, who probably will take his first jumper of the day. Doesn't get it to go. Front rims this one.
That's a gotta make 3 if you shoot those.
Here's Manning, gets the switch with Clark, and Manning pulls. Thought that was halfway down, and Zach Powell saves it. Cardinal rule, Fish. Tell me, don't save it underneath there. Don't throw it back under your own rim.
Yeah, indeed. One of the worst things you can do, and another foul is called, and that's foul number 3 on Elijah Maynard. So the gamble of keeping players in the game on 2 hasn't paid off for him. First time that Barking didn't attack the switch, they took the 3 instead, but the hustle players led them to the free throw line.
Marley Wilkinson misses the first, and yeah, Maynard 0 for 1, 4 rebounds and a block. Generally quite a quiet evening for Elijah Maynard so far. And Marley Wilkinson makes the second, and we're all knotted up at 33 again. And Clark pressured by Juan Manning. And a hint of frustration creeping in here from the Rockets.
Yeah, that combination of Mitch Clark's frustration at himself, but also having to dribble the ball up by himself.
Danchi straight down the lane, and that one's out of bounds. Straight down, no contact. As you would say, Fish, good verticality from Alexander there.
I think it probably was on that one. I'm not sure. I'd have to see a replay of that, but let's have a look here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Could argue that he jumped into him rather than went up, so don't know what you think.
Tough one, I'd hate to call it. That one's thrown away by Powell as that was cross-court. What a feed from Manning, who gets it back, but Rockets scramble well, close that one out. It's whipped across to Akano with 12 on the shot clock against Round, who can use his length to keep Akano in front. But Sam Akano just barrels his way in and goes glass for the 2. And this one is now led by Barking Abbey. I say now, again, back in the lead, Barking Abbey 35-33. 1:33 to go in this one. And as you say, Fish, I think it's easy to see these games and say, well, you know, it's dogged determination from Barking Abbey, but there are a lot more than that, aren't they?
Oh, most definitely. I'm very impressed with what we've seen so far. Yeah, there's a bunch of mistakes, but there are for both teams, and you'd expect that in this early season. But offensively, they're trying to move the ball well, which is good to see, and they're defending really, really hard. The Rockets are making some uncharacteristic errors at the moment, but yeah, I mean, it's great to see a close competitive game, and I think that it'll be interesting to see at halftime what adjustments, if any, either coach makes.
Slight segue, but been a busy week for the guys with our wonderful partners Go Perform. Tell us all about how Go Perform have been involved in the programme.
Well, we were privileged enough to go to Go Perform on a couple of weeks ago to do some physical testing for our academy players. So our John Medeski Academy, EABL, WABL and under-19 teams all took a trip down there. And yeah, it was fantastic. They have fantastic facilities. They do a lot of rehabilitation work with athletes, a lot of gym work, and a lot of physical testing as well. So yeah, we got all that done and dusted, and we'll have those results through, and that will help shape us in terms of what programs each of the players needs moving forward this season. So yeah, massive shout out and thank you to Go Perform.
If you are in the Thames Valley area, Go Perform looks amazing. I follow them on the socials, and if you're someone like me, I feel like I want to go to feel like an elite athlete one time.
I think that's probably past for you, but yeah, I agree.
I said feel like one. I don't think I'll ever be on that level, but yes, Thames Valley area, go check out Go Perform. Wonderful partners and friends of the Rockets, as Zach Powell has that one in and out and running a Barking Abbey with Juan Manning. Egbayemi finds Manning on Milbank, goes to the crossover, gets all the way down low, and he's fouled, and it's not a mismatch, but Juan Manning very tricky off the dribble.
Yeah, and I would say to you, you know, and this isn't a criticism of Harry Milbank, but in terms of matchups and who you want to play against who, that was a great call by James Veer, getting Manning to receive the ball back and play 1-against-1. Also, whilst we're at the free throw line, I just want to give a shout out to Coach T, who is at home watching on the stream. Coach T has been very influential in the background so far as our performance coach, and working with the coaches and the players. So Coach T, looking forward to seeing you soon, and hope you're enjoying today's stream.
Manning makes a pair. Barking Abbey up 4 into the final minute of this first half. They have dropped back into a 2-3-ish zone by the looks of things. Bit of a match-up zone. Powell just splits it, goes all the way at Oyo and finishes for 2.
Yeah, nice finish from Zach Powell as well. He's kind of taken this one on his back again, and tough one at the rim, but makes it.
Here's a Kano. Plenty of switching on the perimeter. And there's this mismatch that Fish just spoke about. And in the corner is Egbeyemi, who scorches that one again. And
yeah, frustrating one for Coach Nurizade, helping from the strong side. And easy for Barking to knock down the 3 ball.
Here's Powell, 7 left in this one. Goes to his left, gets a mid-range to go, and it will. Coach Veer desperately asking for timeout and doesn't get one.
Yeah, the clock had actually stopped as well for some reason.
There's a real confusion here, and Coach Veer furious down in front of us, and he was straight over to the table to call his timeout. You know, he's saying he's lost 3 seconds, and he's probably not far off it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a tough shot by Zach Powell, and the Rockets' offense a little bit static at the moment, but Zach Powell certainly keeping the scoreboard ticking over. But yeah, I mean, it's 40 points up for Barking. That's a really good outing, and don't forget they had 87 points against Worthing Thunder and 86 against Sussex Bears, so they're not short of scoring options, and they're certainly doing a good job to show that this evening.
No, they've got some go in them, that's for sure. And you'll see Coach Nurizade trying to talk this one through, and I wonder if he will. You know, this is where the mind games come in. Does Coach Nurizade switch to something tricky defensively, bit of throwaway zone for the last 2 seconds, so that he counters what James Veer might be running?
Well, I think it's definitely protect the rim. Make them catch the ball as far away from the basket as possible. But I imagine some kind of back screen action here, but we will see. 2.2 is on the clock. Certainly the Rockets do not want to foul because they're in the penalty. Otherwise that could have been an option when the ball was inbounded.
I think Coach Veer is really unfortunate to only get 0.4 back on. I think there was more in it. There's the handoff. Manning will get a good straightaway look at this from half court, and he gets backboard, but nothing more. And Barking Abbey head into the break, leading 40-37. And let's get a really quick kind of summary of the first half, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic from the away team so far. I think Coach Veer will be the happier of the 2 coaches for sure. I think they've done a really good job in terms of general poise on offense, finding the right shots, getting to the rim, putting real heat on the rim and putting pressure on the Rockets defense. Rockets obviously fouling quite a bit. I think you want to tidy up just some stuff in terms of the pick and roll defense for the Rockets. Well, it's been a bit stuttery, I think is probably the word to use. They've stuttered a little bit in terms of the pick and roll. They've had a little bit of foul trouble, and certainly they'll need to talk over the conceding of 40 points. But yeah, I think both teams are more than capable. Obviously, Rockets have a little bit more experience in the tank, so I think the second half's going to be really good to see.
Poised for a good one here. KitKing Trophy, 3rd pool game. Join us again in about 12 minutes because we've got a really good second half coming up, and this is also a good time to get your halftime refreshments, but send out a text, a WhatsApp, a tweet, an Instagram post to say we're live, come and join us, and we'll see you back in about 10 to 12 minutes. Welcome back. Loddon Valley Leisure Centre. KitKing Trophy. Pool game, third pool game.
You always say it in a funny way.
How do I say it?
KitKing Trophy, yeah.
I feel like you've got a bit partridge on me there.
Almost.
Amazing.
How was your merriment?
It stuck to my teeth really badly, but I should have stuck to Haribo's instead, I reckon. Or a rocket dog. No rocket dog delivery today.
No, they. I was actually promised one at half time, but that has not come to fruition. So
I'm hoping they were so busy that they couldn't get us one.
Most probably.
We are just about to go back to the action. Barking Abbey lead this one 40-37. Thanks everyone for joining us on the live stream, and hope you enjoyed the first half of action. We had a really good first half. Rockets got a lead up to about 7, couldn't stretch it anything beyond that. Barking Abbey then really turned on the gas and had a really strong second quarter. Now lead this one by 3.
Yes, indeed, and Zach Powell is once again leading the Rockets with 13 points. Mark Lewis champion with 7, and Sam Akano, as you highlighted before the game, has 11 points personal. So well supported as well. They've got a really good spread of scoring here, Barking Abbey, and it's going to be a really interesting second half for sure.
Shirt just getting tucked in before the second half. And this one will be back underway. Clark champion, Powell, Alexander and Round for the Rockets. Barking Abbey open in a early zone. Low post touch, couple of dives, and here's Round, tries to get the extra one to Powell, and an early whistle, and that one is, again, a bit of a mystery.
Well, it's Zach Powell's third foul, that's for sure, and that's not how the Rockets wanted to open up this second half.
Here's Danchi against Powell, who will stay out there, and Clark nearly runs through that one. Manning across the middle, they find the extra one to Danchi in the corner, and a 3 from Danchi extends the Barking Abbey lead to 6.
Yeah, but the clock is still running, so the officials will look to fix that.
Early season form from the table officials, I'd say.
Yes, a couple of blunders.
As I say, good to have everyone on the live stream. Let us know where you're checking in from today. Any kind of queries you want clearing up, let us know. Any comments, always like to hear them in this chat. Here's Round, he's wide open, doesn't get it to go off the backboard, and this one will stay with the Rockets.
Yeah, the Rockets finding the high post pretty easily on that possession, but unable to convert, and yeah, been a very tentative start for the home team, that's for sure.
Alexander down low against Danchi. The diving Clark down the middle, and Mitch Clark with a finger roll off the good read and low post action from Christian Alexander.
Absolutely, and great to see Mitch Clark get going early on in this second quarter. Let's see what the home team can do defensively now.
Here's Manning against Round. Goes to the crossover, helped by Clark. Danchi down the lane, a lot of contact. Good rebound by Gent, who puts up the lefty finish, and that's the one you need your big man to clear up.
Yes, and those are the ones that keep the scoreboard ticking over for sure, and that's what Rockets definitely need to eliminate if they're to have a chance of winning this game.
Here's Powell. Elbow jumper turns it down to Round. It's now with champion 7 on the shot clock. He goes baseline against Nakano, and a lot of contact, and then he's drilled by Gent afterwards, and champion just up a little bit gingerly on that one. Was a pretty heavy hit on the baseline. Bit of a fan favourite here is Lewis Champion, and don't want to see him too gingerly on that.
I'm going to throw it out there. Rockets legend.
That's Yeah. That is a hard one to contest. It feels weird because I remember coaching him when he was 10. So, I don't know how a 10-year-old can be a Rockets legend, but he's not a 10-year-old anymore, is he?
No, he's 30.
Yep. Facts. 30. Oh, Hobbs is on the chat. Hi, John. Nice to see you. Yes, we'll be back on a headset soon, I'm sure. Champion makes that one.
Solid work, meaning we're not doing a very good job.
Solid work. B-. Always nice to be graded by a pro. Here's Danchi. Ball kicked around, and that one will stay with Barking Abbey. We didn't get confirmation whether Barking Abbey have a nickname. Is it the Crusaders?
No, they were once...
Kent Crusaders.
Yeah, linked with them, and then obviously they were with London Lions.
Maybe they don't have a nickname. Here's Manning to the crossover. Just forced his way, and that's a Marley Wilkinson on the follow, and that is a high finish.
Yeah, and 2 possessions in a row that Barking have scored off on the offensive glass. It's going to be a frustrating one for Coach Nurizadeh for sure.
Clark guarded by Wilkinson. Turns the corner on this one. Spins. Lift from round. He gets the elbow jumper. Doesn't get it to go, and King Danchi clears, and here's Wilkinson the other way, just right at round, and what a finish from Marley Wilkinson. And timeout for the Reading Rockets, and this one has opened up a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly has, and it's very interesting to see out of the half-time interval that Barking have definitely come out on firing on all cylinders, and the Rockets seem to be really struggling still. A couple of shots that haven't dropped. They've given up a couple of offensive rebounds, and Barking have stretched their lead out to 8, and they fully deserve it too.
Oh, I appreciate everybody in the comments. Yeah, Ethan Round not playing. Brother Isaac is playing. Steve Shreve in the house. Nice to have you here, Steve. And just a bit of another quick segue for us and kind of the adventures of the team, and it's Physiolistic, the men's physio partner.
Yes, they've just come on board this year as our Division 1 men's physio partners. It's great to have them, and I know they've been working hard with Reece Pinnock to get him back to fitness, so that's also awesome.
I must say, it is Physiolistic. I'm saying it right, aren't I?
Yes.
Good. There's just a lot of vowels in there. Sometimes they can be a bit tricky.
Yes, indeed. You'd be rubbish on countdown.
I would. Consonant. Yeah, so thank you for their partnership this year. As I say, getting first-class treatment for the men's team, and of course you will find Physiolistic within our socials and our partner shout-out days. So if you wanted any more information on Physiolistic, again in the Thames Valley area, then you can either reach out to them directly or feel free to reach out to any of the Rocket socials, and we can point you in the right direction. Here's Powell. Barking staying in that zone, and Christian Alexander tries to drop step. A lot of twisting and turning, and Champion on the rebound. Secures it to Clark, and the clear from Champion and Clark on the long 3-ball, rims off, and here's Manning the other way. Got a few numbers, but kicks to Danchi, and he fires the 3, and the hot shooting streak continues for Barking Abbey. Yeah, and it's a big difference at the moment. The Rockets really not making shots, and you certainly with King Danchi, you leave him open, he's gonna knock it down every time. Powell this time, that one's halfway down but rims out, and the 11-point lead for Barking Abbey continues to grow, and Danchi all the way down low, nothing doing, and a couple of players batting the ball around on the baseline. It ends up in the hands of Juan Manning, and it's another 3. Barking Abbey are unconscious from the perimeter right now. Yeah, shooting the ball really, really well, but playing with such good tempo. They've really stunned the Rockets here. I don't think I've ever heard the Valley so quiet. It's really gone flat in here. Barking Abbey doing a great job, and this one then fumbled out of bounds, and another turnover. And subs in this time, it's Porter for Christian Alexander, who looks visibly frustrated.
Yeah, Alexander having some nice moves inside, but really struggling to find the cup at the moment.
Back in the hands of Juan Manning. High handoff. Gets Powell jumping. Goes to the crossover, and then the scoop finish from Juan Manning. And I said pre-game, he's very tricky, isn't he, Ben?
He certainly is, but he's able to wander down the lane at pretty much ease and get to the rim easily. The Rockets really have to start defending a lot better.
Maynard tries to pull that one, it's blocked, but Mitch Clark just follows the play and gets that one to go for 2.
Rockets really need a run here, but the visitors to Reading are just relentless in terms of attacking the bucket.
Like a Kano going downhill, and was that on Clark? I mean, he's falling, tough one there. Kerry and Pete Clark tuning in from Rome European Tour.
When in Rome.
Indeed. At least the time zone's a bit more manageable. I think this is normally more like an 11 PM tip to Perth time. Rome will be much more favourable. Here's Godwin. To Wilkinson, who is really, really quick, and Amali Wilkinson continues to the onslaught downhill. And this Barking Abbey team are just relentless from the dribble.
Yeah, they certainly are. I would say they've really improved their offensive output during the game. They're a lot more patient and really working hard to attack the Rockets. And the Rockets are really struggling with perimeter one-on-one at the minute.
Another foul. Taylor Rowe has put in a comment. Hope everything's all well back home. One stop at a time. Trust each other. Pretty good advice.
Absolutely, and how the Rockets are missing him right now.
Champion wide open. Doesn't get that one to go, and 2 Rockets don't come up with it. And it's Porter with the extra step and gets that one to go. And the lead is 14.
Yeah, sure is, and the Rockets will be needing to get that below 10 heading into this 4th quarter. It's a mountain to climb at the minute.
Danchi misses rebound from Gent, and that one stays with Barking Abbey.
King Danchi checking out the game with 10 points and 2 threes there, shot the ball well.
Godwin from the corner misses, and they've just gone a little bit colder here, and here's Zach Powell out and running with a right-handed flush. Can that get the Loddon Valley faithful going and make a run at this double-digit Barking Abbey lead?
You'd sincerely hope so, but the Rockets really need to disrupt more often, as another foul on Mitch Clark is called. Foul number 3 for him.
Clark's a competitor. Wants to get this team energised. Just a slight delay. Reece Pinnock on double duty. He's grabbing the floor. Well done, Reece.
Indeed. And how the Rockets would like him to be on the floor as well, but he isn't. It's part of the game.
Absolutely. Manning and Powell, help from Champion. It leaves Wilkinson wide open in the corner. He airballs this one, and Rockets wanted to be out and running again. Here is Powell. Early kick ahead to Champion, could get that one to go. Puts it on the floor, drops it off to Maynard for the 2-handed flush, and back-to-back dunks for the Rockets.
Yeah, bang, bang from Elijah Maynard, and hopefully that gets him going. That's his first points of the evening, and the Rockets have got it to 10.
And there's an offensive foul the other way on Gent.
Coach Fear is visibly upset with that. An illegal screen has been called. He's arguing that the screener was actually pushed into the screen, and he may have a point.
10-point ball game here, 59-49. Rockets with back-to-back dunks in transition. And a Maynard drop off for the two-handed flush. Trail by 10, 3:43 to go.
Yeah, and Rockets with a chance here. I was just about to say, with a chance here to trim the deficit to single digits.
Here's Champion. Back to that high screen and roll down the lane, just runs with the lefty floater, doesn't get it to go and stays with the Rockets.
I was just thinking Rockets could really do with one of Lewis Champion's trademark threes, but a score here would be really helpful for the home team. Barking with their biggest lead at 16.
Coach Beer hearing it from the Valley. Faithful, and one. Doesn't go this time. Maynard fouled. Quick thinking between Champion and Maynard.
Yeah, smart play, and if you can't put it in the bucket, getting to the foul line is definitely the next best thing.
Chance to get it within single digits, as Fish said. By the time the quarter's over, Rockets a little bit ahead of schedule at the minute. Maynard rattles in his first free throw.
Yeah, be interested to see if this is the start of Maynard getting going in this game. The Rockets certainly need him to score.
Makes a pair. The lead is 8. Rockets extend with a bit of pressure. Godwin against Round. Screen again with Oyo. Gets all the way down the lane. And a big triple on the way from Ethan Conway. What a momentum killer.
Absolutely, and Ethan Conway is certainly the guy that can do that. The Barking Abbey certainly shooting the ball well. And some poor pick and roll defense from the weak side from the Rockets.
Powell inside finds the cutting Porter for the easy two, and Zach Powell gets an assist in the assist column, and there's Juan Manning downhill.
Yeah, and it's another bucket all the way at the heart of Rockets defense.
Christian Alexander out of the game at the minute. Powell for 3 this time, no good on that one, and Barking Abbey have a pair of players clearing that one. Manning to the cross, goes all the way down the lane and flips another one up with the right hand, and just like that, the lead is back to 13.
Yeah, and that's what's killed the Rockets, really. The ability off one drive for Barking to get to the rim.
Maynard needs to get going. A big 3 from Elijah Maynard. That is a one way to do it.
Yeah, certainly waking the Loddon Valley crowd up here. Rockets still needing to disrupt their opponents defensively as Lewis Champion tries to do that from the outset.
Conway, Oyo, here's Manning. Doesn't get that one to go. Powell with the clear. A lot of contact, might have been his own player, and ends up with Conway for 2.
So that's the 4th time in this quarter that Barking have got the offensive rebound and converted. 8 points of second chance points, which is hurting the Rockets at this minute.
Maynard, who's made his last 3, slips that one to the corner. We'll get another wide open look. He's close to being out of bounds. This one has clipped the backboard, but it's just grazed rim, and Rockets will have another 10 seconds to reset. Powell, great look down the lane, and it's another flush for Elijah Maynard, who backdoor cuts off the baseline.
Yeah, and a smart play from the Rockets. Didn't over-dribble this time. Saw the help defence was early, cut that. Good score from Maynard.
Manning finds Godwin. This one's way long, and Zach Powell corrals the rebound. 32 seconds to go in this third quarter. Manning picks the pocket of Champion. Bit of friendly banter in front of us.
Yeah, and Juan Manning sitting down with 11 points and 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's certainly contributing well to his team.
He's had a busy third quarter, hasn't he? Here's Powell, drops this one off to Porter inside, and he gets that one to go. Big and one from Finn Porter, and a little late on the help for Barking Abbey.
Yes, 60 plays 68, a chance to make it a 7-point game, and Rockets really could do with a stop. I think this is going to be a big possession coming up, certainly for momentum heading into the fourth quarter.
Makes the extra one, and it's down to 7.
Yeah, Rockets have a foul to give as well. So Coach Nurazade will not want them getting to the rim. They'll want the foul to be conceded early if necessary.
That's Nduzi fumbles it. 0.6 on the shot clock. On the game clock.
0.8, I think, Mark.
Oh, sorry, it's my restricted view.
I think your vision's
it's restricted view, but I'm now having the media team point out that they have given us a monitor for the scoreboard, and they are correct.
And you've only just seen it.
No, I've seen it all game. I don't know why I didn't look at it. 0.8. Anyway, it'll make a vast amount of difference, I imagine. Powell trying to go long.
Yeah, don't get a 5-second call.
Mitch Clark with the heave from distance after the buzzer, and what a quarter. Barking Abbey absolutely electric from the field. Extended their lead to as many as 13. Rockets get it into single figures. 7-point ball game going into this fourth quarter, and this has not gone quite the way we thought it might, Fish.
Well, believe it or not, Mark, the Barking's biggest lead was 16 points.
Sorry,
16 points in that quarter. So I think to get it to 7, the Rockets have done a reasonable job. 24-28 in that quarter. Certainly the defenses were not on top. Some good scoring by both teams, but certainly some lapses. But I still think that Barking will they've weathered the storm well, and the opening 3 minutes of this quarter, I think, will tell us where this game is headed. And
from a Rockets perspective, what's got them back into this?
I think they've got some defensive stops. I think they've made Barking take some tough shots and then rebounded. Obviously, I alluded to in that third quarter they had 8 second chance points, but I also think the Rockets are moving the ball a little bit better and have made a couple of shots that they may well have missed earlier on in the game. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't think the Rockets are firing on all cylinders, pardon the pun, but I think that if they can keep that momentum going from the third quarter, then they have a really good chance in this game.
You'll see on the live stream a couple of our partners, Buckinghamshire New University, kind of a new partnership for this year, and it's a bit of investment into the club, but we're also doing some coaching for the university.
Yes, absolutely. So Jack Adams, who joined us last season, is heading up that program, and it's been a link that our CEO Matt Johnson has been working with the university for a number of years now, so it's great that they're now an official partner, and we are working with them obviously on the basketball court, and they are working with us in terms of promotion and partnership. Great time to join us on this live stream, and we are into the fourth quarter of this KitKing Trophy pool game. It's King Danchi on the pull-up, doesn't do anything this time, and as Fish said in the break, Barking Abbey have been behind 7 and led us by as many as 16. They are really playing well this evening.
Rockets struggling a little bit, and here's Akano, who is super fast in that north-south direction. Clark just slowing things down for the Rockets. And Zach Powell goes baseline, and there's a tough finish. Zach Powell shifts his body weight to his left, and nice finish over the front of the rim.
Yes, I think the first bucket was going to be important. It's certainly got this crowd alive here, 5-point game.
This is Ndouzi from the perimeter, and if you're James Veer, probably not the one you want as the lead gets cut into. 5-point ball game. Here's Clark with Maynard and Powell and Porter. Powell, a couple of crossovers, just flips one over to Clark. A little bit risky, but this time Powell goes baseline, tries to finish, finds Champion in the corner for 3. Nothing doing, and a big sigh from the Loddon Valley faithful, and the trailing perimeter defense sees Lewis Champion fly into a Buckinghamshire University advertising board.
The referees are now discussing whether that's going to be unsportsmanlike or not. I think this is a big call if they do make it. A regular foul was called, but if it is indeed unsportsmanlike, 2 shots and possession at this crucial stage.
And it is called unsportsmanlike because?
I don't know the answer on this one. Arguably the last man coming in from the wrong side. I think we might get to see it here. Mitch Clark was back. Yeah, not sure about that one.
Tough call, big call. Couple of free throws made by Melkai Egbeyemi.
Yeah, and Rockets obviously were 5 points down. Champion makes the 3. That's a 2-point game. Instead, we're up to 7, and it could be as many as 10.
That is Ndouzi down the lane.
Damage limitation there for the Rockets.
Lucky not to be down more. Clark finds Powell. High show from Danchi, 8 on the shot clock. Powell goes to a couple of crossovers, gets Danchi in the air, pulls the trigger, and Zach Powell showing you the entire bag this evening.
Yes, the General's certainly heating up in the latter stages of this game and doing a really good job for his team, but as I say, the Rockets really need to get a stop.
The General tries to get that one. He's going to get called for a foul, even though it's Egbeyemi who lands on his head. And that's his 4th foul, and that is a big one.
Yeah, with 7:50 left in the game, it's going to be a big call for Coach Nurizadeh, but Zach Powell with 19 points, leading all scorers in the game.
Let's put you on the spot then, Coach. Do you keep him in, sit him for a couple of minutes? What do you do? I
think you probably have to take him out the ref's eye line for a minute or 2, but that's it really. I think he then has to be back in the game. It's a tough call. Coach Nurizadeh may well leave him in the game because he's in the kind of flow and momentum.
Here's Akano with Chris Ndouzi on the screen. Akano will pull, might get the friendly roll, doesn't. Plenty of bodies underneath the rebound. Finds Danchin. It's another possession. Here's Manning down the lane, who's been quite tricky, and Mitch Clark tries to save it, claiming that Juan Manning's out of bounds. This is the type of competitive stuff we like, isn't it? Every possession important now.
Yeah, but a technical foul's just been awarded against the Rockets bench. I'm not really sure why.
Has it actually?
I think so. There's a lot of discussion going on.
That's a good spot, Coach, if it is, and that's another extra possession and free throws. And
so it should just be one shot at this point, and then it should resume with 3.2 seconds on the shot clock, baseline out of bounds for Barking.
Your knowledge is next level. You are correct.
I wouldn't say that.
I would. I wholeheartedly would. So you are correct. 3.2 on the shot clock. Back with Barking Abbey. 6-point game here, but an extra possession. Okano on the pull-up. Back rims it, and Rockets really need to clear one. This time it does go to the Rockets, and they get out of trouble.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Rockets really struggling on the glass at the moment. In terms of the rebound game, they are being out-rebounded by 6.
Here's Powell on the baseline, just holds that dribble. Finds Champion. There was that trademark 3 you were talking about. Turns it down to Clark, who back rims one. And going the other way, there's going to be another foul call. Champion frustrated. I was waiting for another unsportsmanlike call. It's not. Just a block. Champion's third. Barking Abbey, no fouls in this one.
I have to say, Lewis Champion doing a great job trying to get his body in the way, his body on the line. And that, regardless of whether charge or block, he's stopped the score, and I think that's really important at this stage. Rockets, however, do have 3 team fouls. So they've only got 1 more to play with until shots for the visitors. Finally poised, Mark.
Very finely poised. 6-point ball game, just over 7 to play. As I've said, if you are joining us on the live stream, 169 of you on the live stream at the minute. Really, really great numbers. So sincere thanks from Ben and I for making this a good one. 5-second call nearly comes, but it ends up with Danchi goes step back from 3, back rims this one, and it's another long rebound that the Rockets can't clear. Here's Manning, played by Clark. He's screened by Gent, switched by Porter. Good help from Clark. It's kicked, and a reset, and there's another extra few ticks for Barking Abbey.
Yes, great to see lots of people on the stream. Obviously haven't checked into Country File or Antiques Roadshow yet.
That is terrific. I presume you're getting yours recorded.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a planner to do that, so
No.
I'll just watch it back.
Fair enough. Catch up.
Yes. The beauty of technology.
Slight break in play here is the floor again. Lots of bodies out there at the minute. As I say, 6-point ball game. Barking Abbey lead this one. Clark defending Manning. Another 5-second call nearly there, and it's going the other way, and a great defensive possession on the out of bounds from the Rockets.
Yes, and the Rockets are going to need to get a few of those in the latter stages of this game. But another big possession coming up for the Rockets. It's a 6-point game, the chance to trim it to 4 or 3.
And here we go. Zach Powell still on the floor for the Rockets. And here he is. Looking at that elbow jumper. He's going to end up turning this one over. Doesn't want to foul. Long leak out from Danchi, and good block from Maynard. What a play from Elijah Maynard. His 2nd block of the day.
Yeah, nice job from Maynard. Got himself going on the offensive end. Big play defensively. Rockets still struggling a little bit with the pick and roll.
Tip ends up in the hands of Powell, and he tries to get it to go. He's fouled, and one massive play from Zach Powell.
Yeah, the general coming up with the goods just then. Takes him over the 20-point mark. And the Rockets as close as they've been since half-time.
Timeout. James Veer and Barking Abbey. Looking at quick personnel stuff. We'll look at getting subs in and out. And as you said to me, finally poised. 6 minutes to go, but it feels tight already. Plenty of possessions left in this one, and the Loddon Valley crowd treated to a really good game this evening.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I don't think they've been disappointed with the Rockets' tenacity to get back in this game, and they've certainly come alive in this 4th quarter. Just watching Coach Veer, calm and poised, talking to his team. Good timeout from him.
if you are just joining us for the latter stages, 180 of us now. Wow, what great numbers for a Sunday. As I say, sincerely appreciate everybody joining us. This is the KitKing Trophy pool game in Group 1. It's the third one in this group. A win for the Rockets would see them top of the group and playing second in Group 2, which could potentially be the Essex Rebels.
Could indeed, and just looking at the box score at the moment, Barking Abbey with 22 offensive rebounds. Yeah, and as Kerry Clark's just pointed out, they have more offensive rebounds than defensive, so it's certainly a really, really important factor for the Rockets in these final 6 minutes.
They've got more offensive rebounds than defensive?
Yeah, they have 22 offensive rebounds to 17 defensive rebounds.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
39 rebounds to 34.
I don't think I've ever seen that in my whole time. Basketball runs in the blood of the Clark family. They're all over the stats.
Indeed, absolutely.
Powell to the line for his extra one. And he makes it, and this is a one-possession game. Powell will get a steal, lay it up for two. It's a one-point ball game, and we are rocking here at the Valley.
Nice job from Zach Powell. He's been brilliant at both ends of the floor.
He is on 4 fouls though. Needs to be careful, and here's Manning, who's been the pace setter for Barking Abbey. Finds Egbayemi in the corner, and the Rockets come up with it. Need to hold this possession in and not turn it over, but they do, and it's Akano the other way for 2, and that's a killer.
Yeah, it's a horrible one. Hopefully it won't be a momentum killer for the Rockets. They really need to score again here.
Barking Abbey still by 3. Powell, who's been great this afternoon. All the way round to Isaac Round. This is Porter on the low block. Will go to that turning hook and just about gets it to go. And we're back to a one-point ball game.
Yeah, nice inside-outside game there with Finn Porter ending up with the ball inside to hook it in for 2.
Here's Dante right at Porter, and that's going the other way. And it's a great call from the official.
Yeah, Rockets really with the momentum at the moment.
Subs in Amali Wilkinson back in for Egbayemi.
This fourth quarter has certainly got the Loddon Valley crowd active, that's for sure.
Clark finds Porter on that baseline. It's a spot that Fish says he likes. Maynard just with the extra dribble should get that one over the front rim, doesn't, and tough possession there. And 73-72. I was just looking at the scoreboard and didn't see that one. A lot of protest in front of the official. This stays with Barking Abbey.
Yeah, the officials are just chatting it over. But yeah, I think Maynard, I think the words are Mr. Sitter on that possession.
Yeah, just as you hear the Loddon Valley faithful giving it to the officials. Lively crowd tonight.
Very.
Here's Akano. Screen with Oyo. Goes to the re-screen and lovely double move, and he gets a space to find the 2. Great from Sam Akano. Back to a 3-point game, 4-23. Clark finds Powell. Hasn't shot well from 3, so keeps turning these down. And then an offensive foul is so interesting that there's probably been 30 of those not called, and then in a close game we call it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we talked about earlier on, the officiating of the pick and roll is difficult, but you know, I think it's definitely something, an area for growth in this country for sure.
Here's Manning, switched on to by Mitch Clark. He goes, rejects the screen, gets all the way down low. Will end up with his own rebound. A lot of feet down there. Ends up with Oyo, who goes backboard for his first points of the night.
Yes, and that's Barking have done a good job to cut this momentum that the Rockets had. And that Elijah Maynard miss right at the front of the rim has been a tough one for the Rockets.
Here's Porter. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say, plus the Finn Porter offensive foul.
Clark all the way down low. Could be a big three from Round, and it's only a 2, but he makes it. Nice from Isaac Round, and we're back to a 1-possession ball game.
Yes, a much-needed bucket for Isaac Round and the Rockets there, but the Rockets certainly need a stop as we approach the 3-minute mark.
Porter switched on to Akanu. Ends up with Danchi. He back rims this one, and Maynard with a good rebound, and Rockets need to make these possessions count now.
Certainly do as we head under 3 minutes.
Clark tries to find Isaac Round, who made his last one a little bit loose. 10 on the shot clock. Clark skips to Maynard. Gets inside, a lot of contact, and it's a foul on Danchi, and it's a clever play from Elijah Maynard. He will go to the line for 2.
Certainly is, and the Rockets really having to dig deep in the last part of this fourth quarter, having played yesterday. Clark, Powell, Porter and Maynard playing significant minutes. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Harry Gent checking back into the game.
Maynard to the line for 2. Chance to cut the lead to 1. First one rattles out. Makes his second 2-point game. 77-75. Rockets extend the pressure again. They just get ahead to Wilkinson. He attacks the rim, nothing doing. This is going to be a tough one, but it stays with Barking Abbey. Yeah,
great stand by Finn Porter there. So Rockets are able to get back and defend 5 against 5.
2:41 to go. Here's Manning against Maynard. They switch the perimeter. Manning pulls up and rattles one in from 3, and Coach Nurazade absolutely furious down there.
Yeah, it'll be furious on the switch, and obviously Juan Manning has been a real threat from the perimeter, and Finn Porter switched onto him and was off him, so he said thank you very much indeed.
We've hit the big 200 on the stream. What a number to have early season. Thank you everyone. A good time to mention our friends Nobro from across the pond. Proud friends and sponsors of the Rockets, and we love what they do. Again, I struggle every week to describe their clothing wear, active wear, but also some pretty cool fashionable stuff in there.
You haven't got any yet then?
I know, I have repeatedly said I need to buy a hoodie, but I have not got round to doing that yet.
You need to get rid of your purple dress that you wear.
Well, look, other items of clothing are available.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking
purple dress.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of
Tuesday night.
No, not at all. Goodness me.
But no, bro, great friends of ours. Good time to mention them on the big 200. Give their company a bit of a look. As I say, they're on the social channels. They're often in the chat, so they may well give us a comment in the chat. But well worth looking at. They've got some really unique stuff. But back to game time action. 2:31 to go. 75 plays 80. Barking Abbey have come into Reading and lead this one, and they've been brilliant for their lead so far. Champion and Clark. Here's Round. Puts it straight on the dribble against Manning. We'll hand off this time with Champion, who's going as his favourite left. It's found Clark. Finds Round. Could be a big shot, this one. And it is! Isaac Round with a big 3.
Yeah, great shot from Isaac Round. Back-to-back threes, much needed, as we've been saying quite a lot this evening.
Wilkinson down the lane. Great hands from Porter, but it ends up with Gent, and that one you just wanted to end up with your hands, but it finds Gent for the easy 2.
Yeah, good response from Barking Abbey. They certainly haven't panicked. They've kept that scoreboard ticking over. Both teams now in the bonus, 1:44 remaining in the game.
4-point game, and this is superb early KitKing Trophy action. Real treat this afternoon. Champion needs help, finds Powell. He goes baseline, tries to lay it in. Can't get it to go. Powell to just stuff that one home, but doesn't. Finds Champion. 3 on the shot clock. Champion needs to get this one to go. It doesn't. Powell with the save, but long possession, nothing doing, and the lead remains at 4.
Yeah, and that's the perfect time for Barking Abbey to get a stop. They can get the time under a minute with this possession and also extend their lead, so it's a big one coming up here.
Danchi down the lane, just gets Powell out the way, gets his own rebound, shuffles his feet, but referee's doing nothing. Akano finds Manning, wants to go baseline against Clark, and our first wedgie of the season.
Indeed, and Rockets got away with that one. Their 24th offensive rebound of the evening for Barking Abbey. They have been brutal on the offensive glass.
As I said to you, I don't think I've ever seen a stat like that, where the offensive rebounds outweigh the defensive. Shows you, doesn't it? Wow, staggering. Clark finds Porter on the roll. He'll go all the way down the lane and gets 2, and it's a 2-point ball game with 49 seconds to go, and big finish ahead of us here, Fish.
Yeah, really exciting. It's certainly exciting for people watching online. The Loddon Valley crowd really into this one, and the status is that both coaches have now used 2 timeouts. It'll be interesting to see whether Coach Veer elects to take the ball in the backcourt for a bit more space to inbound, or whether he chooses to advance the ball.
You read my mind. That was my next question. Do you think it's also a space and a time thing? Take a few more ticks off the clock. They are leading by 2.
Yeah, could well be. I mean, his team have done a really good job of scoring, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm just trying to take a peek at what he's drawing up on his board. And we shall soon see what the outcome of that is. But there's no doubt about it, this is a big, big possession.
Yeah, massive, this one. There's probably 3 potentially good possessions left in this game. A score here for Barking Abbey makes this incredibly difficult.
So, Mark, they have elected to take the ball in the backcourt for lots of space to inbound the ball, and obviously they'll get a full shot clock.
I'm going to see there's some switching here, and it is sensible from Barking Abbey. They're going to go fast to the other end, try and get an extra possession, and it's a turnover. Clark the other way, ahead to Zach Powell. He'll lay it in for 2, and we are tied.
Indeed we are, and that was a big, big play for the Rockets. 35 seconds on the game clock, 82 apiece.
Akano down the lane, righty flip and gets it to go. 27 seconds to go in this one.
Coach Nurizadeh electing not to take his final timeout. There was about a 3-second difference between game and shot clock.
Clark finds Powell on the baseline, needs to try and get 2. Finds Maynard, and a travel's called. The ball's long gone, and this one is a massive call.
So Coach Veer will take his final timeout.
Oh, there's a lot to digest there, Fish.
Yeah, there certainly is. Rockets did a good job getting the stop and the score to tie it up, but once again, Sam Akano And Juan Manning have arrived to the Rockets basket on a number of occasions. So it's very, very hard to defend against 84 points, that's for sure. But they're still in with a little bit of hope. They certainly have to foul. They've got to make sure they foul the right player, and they do have a timeout that they can use. So, yeah, let's see what happens.
I'm a little bit surprised after not taking a timeout that there wasn't a bit of urgency to score a little bit quicker. Something towards the rim, early screen and roll, get downhill. Seemed like we probably wasted 6 to 8 ticks moving the ball on the perimeter before getting into an action.
Yeah. Certainly, and it's definitely something to review and look back at. Hindsight, obviously a wonderful, wonderful thing. So Barking have elected to advance the ball, which is not really a surprise.
So does that mean they have a 14-second shot clock?
Well, 12.4 left in the game, so the shot clock
normally would have.
Yeah, normally would have, but the shot clock is off. So the Rockets will look to try to steal, and then I would imagine foul straight away.
And that's going to be Zach Powell's final foul, I believe. Five fouls. So Zach Powell is out of the game. Coach Nurizadeh takes timeout.
Yeah, interesting one. Normally you would save your timeout until after the free throws, potentially. But he's chosen to take it out. Take it now.
Perhaps concerned with the offensive rebounding, that they might actually not get another chance.
Yes, could well be. I mean, 25 offensive rebounds is where Barking is at, and should they come out of this game, that's certainly a statistic that is hugely in their favour. Rockets also with 20 turnovers, so it's been a real tough evening for the hometown team.
So this will leave, with a Barking Abbey win, this leaves this group very interesting, because it basically makes a three-way tie between Reading, Worthing and Barking, each on 2-1, as long as Worthing beat Brighton, and that might be a wee bit presumptuous, but so far they are 0-2 in the group. So let's not go into what actually happens then, because I don't know. But
yeah, I think with a three-way tie, it's like a mini league, and I think with the Rockets winning quite comfortably against Worthing, and the Barking Worthing scoreline being 6, I think if the Rockets keep this one close, I think they will advance. Whether they will advance as group winners or runners-up, I don't know.
Well, we shall see. 10.8 on the clock. Could do with a miss here.
Certainly could, and I think the Loddon Valley crowd will aid in that. But no good on. First one good, yeah.
Makes the first. And if he makes the second, very problematic. And he does. Rockets want to try and score quick here. Doesn't need to be a 3, but needs to be quick. Clark down low, ends up with Porter, and it's too long. It's round, fires one off, and this one is going to be all she wrote. Game over. Not quite. There's going to be a couple of ticks on the clock, but Michael HM says Reading, Barking, Worthing would be the order.
And he would know. What a guy. Good to have you on the stream, Michael. The man with the knowledge. He's
brilliant.
Got excellent knowledge, and well, that is it here.
Waved off and all done here, and Barking Abbey come into the Valley and absolutely do a number on the Rockets, and didn't go the way I think we thought it would go. Barking Abbey, a fairly young team, but boosted with the additions of Sam Akano and Juan Manning. They've played really well this evening.
Oh, most definitely. We have to give loads and loads of credit to Barking Abbey. I think they've done a fantastic job here tonight. Coach Veer has certainly got his troops firing early on in the season, and yeah, you know, pouring in 86 points away from home, and that's their kind of average at the moment in the first 3 games of the KitKing Trophy. So yeah, no, many congratulations to them. I think they've done brilliantly, and you know, as I highlighted, those 25 offensive rebounds certainly giving Barking a number of second chance opportunities, and they made 18 second chance points, which is definitely a lot, and they showed some really good poise at the end of the game as well. You know, normally you think a young team might struggle with the comeback that the Rockets made, but they did a really good job. So congratulations to Barking.
In a loss this evening, who would be your Rockets MVP?
I mean, obviously Zach Powell, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals is again the standout player. We had Finn Porter had 13 points and 6 rebounds, and Mitch Clark and Elijah Maynard with 10 apiece. Mitch Clark with 8 assists, so did a good job there. But yeah, the general certainly, I think he has been awarded the home team MVP, so congratulations to him. But I think, as I say, the final message really has to be to this Barking outfit, Mark.
Yeah, terrific job by James Veer and the gang here. They've done superbly well, and I can only think if they play with that sort of tempo, they're going to be a handful for a lot of teams this year. That, you know, the perimeter's very strong. They made a lot of shots in that third quarter, so they've got the ability to go on runs. Yeah, very, very impressed with Barking Abbey. Perhaps when the Rockets break, you can track down Zach Powell before the autographs come.
Yes, might be able to. I will go and see if we can grab him. I can see him just in the huddle with Coach Nurazade.
I'll let you go then, Fish. I'll hold down the fort, and we'll see if we can get the general back on the stream.
Yeah, we'll do.
So as Fish goes to try and find Zach Powell for MVP honours. Just again, big thank you for everybody joining us on this live stream. Barking Abbey run out 86-82 winners. We're down 7 early. Have bounced back, had a lead as big as 16. And have managed to stave off the Rockets' late fight and get a 4-point win. As Coach said, big shout out to James Veer. Long time with the programme and continues to do a really, really good job with the programme.
I found him.
You found him?
Found me.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. So joined by Zach Powell. Zach, you've been voted the MVP this evening, but a bit of a tough one for the team.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Oh, yeah. Just the transition defense. That's our main problem, is transition defense. As you can see watching the game, they were just blowing by us in transition. We weren't picking up from early, things that we discussed in training, but as I say, we move, and we just add to what we got now into the next game.
Fish pointing out a bit of a staggering stat, and I wonder if you've ever seen this. Barking Abbey had 25 offensive rebounds and 20 defensive rebounds. They had more offensive rebounds than they did defensive. Have you ever seen that in your career?
I don't believe so.
It's yeah, and it was a bit of a struggle, wasn't it? Transition defense and rebounding tend to be the ones that we picked out.
Yeah.
Do you think there's more to it than just an effort thing, or was it a bit of a concentration thing this evening?
Yeah, I think it was just like a effort thing, and knowing where sometimes you got to be able to read where the ball's going to bounce off and box out. There was a lot of times when I was looking, it looked like we were just watching, and then as we were watching, they were getting the rebound, so that's what killed us in the stretch of the game.
And this evening you're missing, obviously, Taylor's out on some family stuff. Reese's injury is going to be a little bit longer than we thought. Did you really miss those guys this evening?
Yeah, come back, T. Start playing. Yeah.
With the shorter rotation and having some of the academy guys having to play bigger minutes in a tight game, is it tough to deal with that?
Nah, I don't really think it's tough to deal with that. They know what to do. It's just getting the jitters out of your system from early. So we just encourage them as much as we can and get them jitters out of there as soon as possible. Like Harry, he can knock down shots. We've seen it day in, day out. Isaac can make all the right reads and right plays and right shots, as you can see. So I don't really think the Young Bucks is that much of a difference when we put them on. They're all great players.
And you personally, another good evening, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. You found a really good bit of form at the minute. What's got you into such a good groove?
Ben shooting on a Wednesday.
Don't tell him that while he's on the stream.
Nah, I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Lord, for just blessing me and able to just wake up this morning, go to church and everything. But as a team, we just got out-hustled in this game. The effort on the defensive rebound and the rebounds in general, they just killed us on the rebound, so we just need to work on that.
That was Zach Powell, the general, joined us in a 4-point loss this evening. Zach, thanks. Go see the fans, sign some autographs. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And Fish, we'll go with you. Last wrap-ups.
Yeah, some good words there from Zach.
I tried to get him to talk about himself, and he still doesn't.
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely, which is a testament to him. But I think he was very honest with his review of the game. I think the Rockets certainly struggled in some areas, but I think the one thing about these games is they highlight your areas of weakness that you can improve on, and they don't cause too much damage in your season. So I think it's probably almost like a blessing in disguise for the Rockets. They can possibly see where they need to improve and work on. And but as I said to you before, let's not take anything away from Barking Abbey. What a fantastic win for them, and I imagine that will certainly propel them into the start of the league season.
Definitely so. We'll wrap up here. Thank you for joining us. Over 200 on the live stream today. Thank you for the partners. Go Perform, Nobro, New Buckinghamshire University, Fizzy. You've got to do that one.
Physiolistic
for joining us as well. We'll wrap up, but join us next time. Next game, Fish.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
We don't know.
Because we're not sure whether it's going to be next weekend in the KitKing Trophy quarterfinal at home, but we will find that out and we will post that on our socials.
Fantastic. Go to the socials, at Reading Rockets or at Rockets Reading on Instagram, Twitter, probably TikTok and all the others. Thanks for joining me again, mate. Lovely evening.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Great crowd, great stream. See you soon.
And Lee's been brilliant. Thanks, Lee. Speak soon.